You are listening to The Radar, a weather-related podcast hosted by the Valley's #1 meteorologists.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Radar podcast, part of the 21 News family of podcasts. This is the weather-related podcast, of course, and we're going to be talking in future editions of this podcast about all things weather and science. Sometimes we'll talk about astronomy and geology and other kinds of things like that. Today's topic is kind of weather adjacent. We get a lot of great pictures from our viewers on social media and via email of all sorts of weather phenomena. We always appreciate all the help with all the great pictures that we do get. You know, the atmosphere is a great many things. It's essential to life on Earth. It's kind of scary sometimes, and the atmosphere is also very, very beautiful. And humans, well, we've been documenting the sky, the clouds, the rain, the snow, the tornadoes, and everything else since, well, film was invented. Meteorologists, we spend a lot of time looking at screens, at computers, and things like that. Tablets and our phones, and it's just nice sometimes to not rely so much on the screens and on all the monitors that we have to look at and actually see what's going on outside. We don't have any windows, believe it or not, in our weather studio. It'd be nice if we did, but we don't, and so sometimes we need more help from the public, and anyone who submits pictures to us, we always appreciate it. We've got some really good people in our area, people that are very talented at photographing different types of weather, different things going on in the sky, anything ranging from meteor showers and full moons to shelf clouds and funnel clouds and all sorts of interesting things. So weather and nature photography, yeah, it's fun and fascinating, that's for sure. It's a pursuit that I'd love to learn a little bit more about. That's why we invited today's guest into our podcast studio today to talk about photography and all the best ways to capture the wonders of nature. And so, Dan Owens, welcome to the Radar podcast, sir.
Thank you, Eric.
All right,
pleasure.
Dan, tell us just a little bit about yourself, where you live across the valley, and, well, how you got into photography as a hobby.
Well, I've lived in the valley my whole life. Lived in Boardman, went to Boardman High School, graduated from YSU, and lived in Boardman until about 12 years ago when I moved to Springfield Township. And I retired from AT&T after working there for 36 years. And just been right around here the whole time.
Mm-hmm. And so what sparked your interest in picking up photography, picking up that camera and taking great pictures of the sky?
I always enjoyed looking at other people's photography and just looking at the way, especially like in automotive magazines and stuff like that, and how photographers work, you know, and stuff like that. And it was like in the 80s, I think I bought my first 35 millimeter film camera. And I had it in a couple of lenses, you know, and took a few pictures, you know, took a lot of pictures, all different subjects, you know.
And I'm sure, just like everything else, technology when it comes to cameras has changed a lot.
Oh,
in
dramatically.
the last 40 years since you picked up your first camera back in the 80s to now. That is for sure. And you know, we see all sorts of interesting things going on in our sky during the day and during the night. Sometimes it's actual weather. Sometimes it's more astronomy based, meteor showers and full moons and, well, things like that. Are there different types of things that you like photographing the most? Does anything really stick out as what you really get you going and prompts you to take that camera outside and snap a few pictures?
The taking pictures of lightning is something, and when I can get out, when there's a thunderstorm that comes through at night, and it really makes it dramatic, you know, and it's really interesting to, you know, and you feel really lucky when you get you get something like that.
And I was just going to ask, is that the most challenging thing to photograph, lightning, because it is so random and it happens so fast?
It is very challenging. I would say the most challenging for me anyway has been when I try to get pictures during a meteor shower. And in the several years that I've been doing stuff like this, I've been able to capture one meteor. So, so it's really difficult, you know.
That's one of the reasons why when we do have a meteor shower, I tend to play it down a little bit, tell people to keep their expectations in check, because meteor showers, whether you're trying to photograph a meteor or not, they're so fickle and unpredictable.
True.
And so, you know, people have sometimes a vision in their head, I think, of I'm going to go outside and see all these meteors, and it's just not the case. You can stare at the sky for forever and just not see anything. So meteor showers can definitely be a little bit of a tricky thing. It's cool to, especially on a summer night, to go outside and just look up and allow your eyes time to adjust and try to see some meteors, but it can be a little bit frustrating at times. When it comes to lightning, and you mentioned you enjoy photographing lightning, we always appreciate all the pictures that you send us, especially of lightning. Are there tricks to capturing lightning as far as settings on the camera and different ways that you can actually capture those elusive bolts coming out of those clouds?
Sure. What I do is I'll have my camera set on a tripod, and I'll watch the lightning, and you kind of, you know, you can see it kind of move. You know, you watch the storm move through, and I'll aim my camera in that direction, and I have the shutter speed set for like 10 seconds, and I have the camera set so that I have it on a remote. And I hit the remote, and the shutter will open for 10 seconds. When I'm lucky, I'll get a bolt of lightning at that time. More often than not, after the shutter closes, then the lightning occurs.
Of course, of course.
So there was a couple of weeks ago, there was this tremendous lightning storm, and it was like at 2 in the morning, something like that. And it went on for like an hour, and I didn't catch a single one. So,
is that something that you do fairly frequently, is no matter what time of the day it is, you forgo sleep, for example, in the middle of the night? If the weather is most exciting at 2 or 3 or 4 in the morning, maybe if it's a meteor shower or something like that, do you forgo sleep and head out there in pursuit of that elusive picture?
I do, yes. My friends kid me quite a bit about that. Like,
sure.
Don't you ever sleep, you know?
But sometimes that's what you got to do to capture these things. They don't always occur in the most convenient times of the day.
Sure.
And so, yeah, we've gotten some pictures from you, certainly via email at 2 or 3 in the morning, and that's some dedication. We certainly do appreciate that. And, you know, Dan, most of us have one of these in our pockets these days, a cell phone. It's a little mini computer, and the cameras on these things are getting really, really good when it comes to photographing everyday life. They're not so good a lot of times when it comes to trying to photograph things in the sky. Do you have any best practices if I want to just take my phone and go shoot the full moon, or try to capture a meteor, or maybe even a lightning bolt or something like that? Is there anything I can do with a camera phone to make that happen, as opposed to a nice point and shoot camera?
What I've found with my phone, and my phone is probably like 3 years old, which the way phones progress, that's an antique. You know?
Exactly.
Mine, it works better if I have a lot of a ground-based object like trees and stuff like that. It's able to focus on the sky better. If you just aim it at the sky, most likely when something happens, it's going to be out of focus.
Yeah.
And it works better when you have something on the ground involved.
Yeah, you know, we get a lot of pictures from viewers, and like I said earlier, we appreciate all of them, certainly. But you can usually tell what's a cell phone picture and what's a picture that came from a nicer, higher end point and shoot type of a camera. We see them all. We get these pictures, and we appreciate all of them. And even though we can't show them all on the air or share them all on social media, we certainly do appreciate them. But it's certainly become in modern times kind of easy to tell who's just pointing their camera at the sky and who's got a real nice setup. So you use, of course, a nicer, higher end point and shoot camera. For those who are in that world, a little familiar with that kind of equipment, what do you use specifically now? And do you change equipment every couple of years? Do you upgrade your camera setup every now and then, or have you been kind of doing the same thing for a while now?
I've been very fortunate. The camera I have right now is the camera I've been using for the past 12 years. It's a Nikon D5100, and I think it was introduced in 2011. And again, cameras have really progressed quite a bit, but you know, I'm very happy with how it's working. I'm sure somewhere along the line it's going to give it up, you know, and I'll have to replace it. But over time I've bought several different lenses for it that you know, and it's still producing very good.
And so you've been doing this for a while now, whether it be something recent or maybe something that happened a decade ago. Are there any particular pictures that you've taken that you're really, really proud of? It's like, oh, that was the money shot. That was the one I've been waiting to get. Does anything stand out to you in your mind?
I'll tell you, one of the first pictures that really got me interested in weather photography was we were having dinner at an outdoor venue, and it was late afternoon, early evening, and this really brief shower came through, and it stopped right away, and sky cleared, sun came out, and it just produced this awesome rainbow behind, you know. And all I had with me was my phone, and there was this rainbow over the lake that was in front of us, and I just got this, this picture came out really nice, you know, and that really kind of got me going on stuff like that, you know. Awesome. And I also like doing astronomy stuff. Probably my favorite astronomy subjects are when we're lucky enough to have total lunar eclipses, and those are a lot of fun. I just get in awe watching that happen.
Speaking of eclipses, you know, about a little over a year ago, we had the total solar eclipse, of course, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for us. Were you able to get out and try to photograph that and try to capture it and document it?
Yeah, we weren't in totality, but we had some close friends and family over. I had a couple of telescopes set up with solar filters on them, and so everybody got to watch it through that, and I took a few pictures of that. And
you know, the weather, for the most part, it wasn't picture perfect, but it cooperated enough that we were able, you know, there were some clouds around. It wasn't perfectly clear, but it certainly was good enough for a lot of really good photographs. And you know, I was up on the roof here at WFMJ, and while we weren't in totality here in Youngstown, we were at 99.5% or something like that. So, you know, there was a big difference between being in 100% totality and not, but still, it was mighty, mighty cool. And thankfully, the weather at least partially cooperated on that on that day. So if people, whether they be younger or maybe someone who is retired or nearing retirement and they're looking for something to get into, it maybe a hobby, and photography kind of piques their interest, do you have any advice to anyone who might be interested in this, getting into this as kind of a hobby?
Yeah, I would visit like one of the local camera shops, and the one that I go to, they've been extremely helpful. Photography's really interesting, and it kind of, you know, you get started in it, and it really, you know, you really get involved with it. It's a lot of fun.
Do you have any, you know, in our area we have a lot of really good photographers, as I mentioned at the beginning, and you're certainly one of them. Do you have any other kind of regional, local or regional photographers who stand out, who you might follow on social media or something like that, that are really good nature photographers or astronomy photographers or anybody like that?
There's a few. There's one gentleman, I think he's in Warren. His named Donald Cherry.
Oh yeah.
And his astronomy photography is just amazing. He's incredible. There's a young lady, she also lives in Trumbull County somewhere, named Leanne Lee.
Yeah, Leanne, yep.
And she's also very good.
She takes really good, I forget what the terminology is, but to capture the space station flying overhead.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm drawing a blank on what exactly that kind of photography is, but to capture the space station flying overhead, and it looks like one straight line in her photos, but they're really, really good. So yeah, we get pictures from her all the time too. Yeah.
Another young man that I'm following closely, he lives in Columbus. He just started in photography a few years ago. His name is Ben Lubert, and he's very good, and he happens to be my grandson.
Oh, okay.
So.
Excellent. Excellent. It's all in the family. I like it. Speaking of, I mentioned social media a moment ago. If people do want to follow some of your pictures, we share a lot of them here at 21 News, but if someone wants to see everything that you're posting, I know you're big on Instagram, right?
Yes.
So if someone wanted to follow you on social media, on Instagram or anywhere else, could they follow you?
Sure.
Is your profile public and it can be followed?
Yes. Yeah. It's under Dan Owens Jr. and yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah, it's an open account. So.
Of course. We've got a few great meteor showers coming up from now through the end of the year. The best one of the year is usually in December, the Geminids. Too bad it's in December when it's cold outside.
Yeah.
But that's the way it goes sometimes. So hopefully we get some clear nights for some of our upcoming astronomy events, including a couple of good meteor showers. We've got a couple of full moons coming up, of course. And you never know what the weather is going to do to throw some curveballs our way, and maybe we'll have some good lightning shows here. It's been an active spring and summer. We've had a lot of storms, a lot of opportunities to shoot lightning, and we've had some localized flooding, of course, as well. And so to everyone who's been sharing their pictures and video with us when it comes to anything that's going on with the weather, again, we really, really appreciate it. If you want to submit pictures to us, you can do it via email, weatherpics, pics at wfmj.com. You can also just tag us on social media. And if you use the Storm Tracker 21 app on your mobile device, you can just scroll down towards the bottom. There's a submit photo button right there on the app. So you can just take the picture and just submit right there on the app. So that's another great way of doing it as well. So Dan Owens, we want to thank you for stopping in today and talking all things photography and nature with us. So we really, really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right, and so this is this month's episode of the Radar podcast, and the Radar and all of our other podcasts here at 21 News. Fresh episodes post every Thursday wherever you get your podcasts. So be sure you subscribe to our feed to catch all the latest podcasts here at 21 News. In the meantime, again, I'm Chief Meteorologist Eric Wilhelm. Thanks for listening, and have a great day.